is that swag? What do you have on your head?
This is crazy swag.
This is not your swag. This is swag you picked up at Consensus.
Yeah, this is bucket hat.
Well, I know what a bucket hat is, but
Well, why are you like, what is this thing on your head?
Well, what is the logo? What are
Yeah,
you
what's the
wearing?
logo?
All right. Can you guys see it?
Yeah. Wait, is that Stellar? That's Stellar, bro.
It's stellar. And then I copped this one too.
And you're gonna be able to bring Stellar on your show, right?
Hopefully, look at that. I like
What does that
one.
say? What it's reversed. What does it say?
Trust the process.
Oh, very cool.
Ah.
And then let's see. Algorand had these really cool mugs, and they're made out of. This product is partially comprised of wheat straw.
That's cool.
So
I dig
it's like
that.
this cool little mug. I'll send this to you. Do you want this? I'll send it to you for your cup of gratitude. Maybe you can put gratitude on the back in Sharpie. What's up,
Yeah.
George?
George is on fire. Let me tell you something. I'm liking this guy's Twitter more and more, man. He
Oh,
just
George.
posted. He's like, what was this? I gotta shout this out. George said something like, he said something like, I'm gonna get so big that either, what did you say? Either you mine with me or you don't mine in Texas. All right.
Look.
I like how big you're thinking, man. So wait. I know that we're going through like your haul, like you're gonna try stuff on, like you're a fashion influencer, the haul you just had from Consensus. But give us the quick and dirty.
Grant, are you saying I'm not a fashion influencer?
I am
First of all,
100%. I am
100%. I would not
100%.
follow Jared's fashion advice.
Why not?
I don't know. He's got better fashion than I did, and
Yeah, that's it. I don't know if I'd follow either of your fashion advice.
If I'm just beating the Florida man in fashion, I don't know if that's it, you know.
The Florida man. And there's a show now I started watching. Tristan also follows. If George Pate says "What's up, gangsters," Tristan definitely follows the white man trend and says "What's up, gents."
What's up, gents?
What's up, Tristan?
Look at this though. These are Hedera socks.
I like this.
Yeah, these are high socks. I like a good high socks. The socks are decentralized if you have 2 feet. So I guess if you have one, it's centralized. I don't know.
Oh my God! So give us what is this?
This is a nice water bottle. Look at this. This is like a badass, stainless aluminum, whatever water bottle. So anyways, the swag was a different level.
It seems like it.
Yeah, you seem like you've got a lot better swag than we got in.
Yeah, NFC NYC was skimping, and then
I got a lanyard here.
Yeah, you got a lanyard. I got a backpack too, which is pretty ridiculous.
Like, does this count? That's what I got. So okay,
stickers
observations.
and one baseball cap.
You did your summary yesterday with your new buddy Lucas, Brian, Timothy,
Jack.
Okay.
Oh God, we're just running through white people names. Is that what we're doing on this show now?
4-letter names: Todd, Steve, Brian, Mike,
Bill.
Jeff, Bill.
Jack missed it entirely.
So I feel like that could just be a show on YouTube. Just list 4-letter
It's like the
names.
opposite of ASMR. It makes people want to punch a baby. It's just like, this is so irritating.
That'd be actually kind of like a funny street show where you just go around and you just ask people like, tell me 3 white dude names. Joseph.
Oh God.
Nice, Tristan.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go through the takeaways of Consensus? Because I know today we're talking, and I love the name. This is my favorite title so far. Consensus on Pepe. Was Pepe even at Consensus? So I'll go through and I wrote some of them down. And I have my list.
Share on Twitter for those popping in. Please like, subscribe, and share for us. Tag a friend who wants to hear ridiculousness, but that's still a little more intelligent than the degen nature of most crypto, not crypto bros. So please do share. But go ahead. What are your summaries?
Yeah, no, let me actually, before we do that, I want to do this live so everyone knows what's up.
Yeah.
If you're not following us on Not Crypto Bros, you need to do that on Twitter. So I'm currently going to the Twitter right now, and I'm going to retweet our live stream. It looks like you guys have already done that, which is awesome.
Yep.
You're slow here, Jarrett. Jarrett, come on.
I'm on dial-up. I'm on dial-up apparently. All right, let me get to the consensus takeaways.
Okay. Yeah.
So my consensus takeaways were the following. We did trends and takeaways. So my trends were interoperability,
Yeah.
A lot of people working on that. A lot of people working on and off ramps, but like individually, just like this is how you
and off ramps, but individually. What does that sentence mean?
So meaning like this is how you get crypto. This is how you get fiat into crypto.
Okay.
And then once you have the crypto, this is how you get crypto into fiat.
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
Not on the same Z's.
It may not even be in the same. It may not even be in the same project, which I found to be very interesting. And multi-pronged approaches to building, meaning like in order to solve a problem, you need to get a bunch of people together. You need a bunch of different brands together. You hardly ever see a brand kind of do their own thing. Normally, they're going to try to bring people together to solve a problem, which I thought was cool. And then at the same time,
so you're talking about collaborations?
Yeah, collaborations.
Okay.
And then at the same time, to go completely against what I said about interoperability was the idea of people building their own ecosystems. There are a lot of people that are using NFTs in a way where they wouldn't be interoperable, meaning like you would, like if Instagram had their own NFT platform, but you couldn't take those NFTs to OpenSea and sell them, or you couldn't take them to Rarible, or you couldn't even put them into a wallet that's not on Instagram. So a lot of people are kind of making very insular and exclusive platforms, which I don't know how those would work necessarily, but basically using blockchain to create membership and tokenized experiences. But the NFTs would just stay because they're just tied to whatever blockchain they would use, but you wouldn't be able to move them around. And I'm hoping that makes sense. Allison actually she listened to the Twitter space, and we will put that somewhere here if you want to listen to it. And then I have notes on what everyone else. So those are the trends. Jack was saying the trends was he felt that there were more pros or more professionals there as opposed to also last year. Jack's comments are really in contrast to last year. He said he also felt there were more women as opposed to last year and just in general. And that the brands and the Web3 projects and partners that were there were just a bit more serious. And
interesting.
I published the More Than Blockchain episode this morning, and I kind of talk about that in the intro, but basically we're not in 2021. We're definitely not in 2022. The liquidity is slowing up. The vibes are just not going to get VCs off the bench. We used to be hoodies and parties, right? Which is, merchant community.
You mean 3 weeks ago at NFT NYC, like?
Yeah, exactly. And that at some level, I think is just it's not gonna do it. So I think it needs a little bit more. Let me see. Kate said, and I thought that this was really great. Kate, who's also with Jack down at the Texas Blockchain Club at Texas A&M, said there's a lot of people looking to tokenize real world assets, which I think is totally a trend that we're seeing.
Real world assets.
Yeah. We've been talking about this. I mean, Grant, we've been talking about this together for a while.
And then Tristan's talking about energy, and then obviously like anything else worth of wealth, paintings.
Yeah, artwork is huge.
Interesting.
I even seen just like businesses tokenizing businesses. So take like laundromats.
Gensler would have a cow.
Gensler the meme coin or your boy?
Yeah. Are we talking Gensler? I'm up 50% up on Gensler, or are we? Well, I mean, zero Gensler now, but
Egghead, the Egghead, yeah.
Oh, okay. You mean the guy that I stick on like half my thumbnails because he just says the most ridiculous stuff.
Exactly. So Jack's views are interesting. George Pate says car titles. Okay.
I talked about that on my show literally this morning about car titles and new government digital IDs and digital wallets in California. It's coming, George. It's coming.
Now, did George mention this, Jarrett, because the two of you saw this at Consensus, though?
George, I didn't see this at Consensus, but George was on the Twitter space last night, and he was just saying that one of the trends to build off that kind of the tokenization of real world assets. So the tokenization of real world things, when we can take real physical things and enhance them, even though I do believe, we all believe that the future of IDs is just going to be something that sits in your wallet, like a soul bound token or something like that, that has ZK, a ZK proof in the back end. So you're not too exposed, etc. Yeah. So Kate said no scammers. There were less scammers or fewer scammers than there were last year, meaning like she called out specifically the SBF spoke last year, and this year, obviously, he was not there. There were Nicole Caldwell, who I'm excited to continue to chat with. She said there were more suits than there were last year, and this kind of points to different money coming in. She also said that
gentrification.
Yeah, she also said that there were bigger, some missing players, meaning companies and projects that literally just went out of, they went out of business, or they're not there, or they don't have the money to be there. And she also said that there were more women. And then we went into takeaways, and we all had different takeaways.
Yeah.
One of Jack's biggest takeaways was this isn't going anywhere. There were about 15,000 people at this event, and this isn't something that's just going to like kind of go away overnight. George says, we spoke about real estate tokenization and being able to track progress in the blockchain. Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the other big takeaways is side events. You have to have side events lined up. You probably have to have your own side event created, which I was able to do that again, similar to what we had in NFT NYC. I was able to coordinate with Katie Romero and just kind of be a quasi co-host. She did, to be fair, all of the lifting. Katie, if you're listening.
I couldn't find her Twitter account.
Yeah, I'll send it. She's wonderful. She's wonderful, and she should definitely be a part of the fold here. Planning your schedule out before you go. If you just show up and you're just trying to figure it out, you're going to be lost. You really have to go with a working schedule and probably some meetings already set up, which I think is another big takeaway. And then where are my takeaways? I think one of my biggest takeaways was fairly resonant of this, and then that business cards still have a place. I have a stack of business cards that I picked up throughout the event. Yeah, people are still using them. I mean, people still use them. And you'll see that anyone under 25 definitely wants you to add them on Telegram. But I would say I was between LinkedIn, Telegram, Twitter, and business cards. And even some people was WhatsApp. So the amount of the amount of platforms you need when you go to one of these things is kind of overwhelming, because you're just sitting on, like, when you're at a conference, you're never more trying to be present and at the same time trying to be on your phone at the exact same time, whether you're tweeting something or you're DMing something, you're
or even a QR code. Like, you look, that takes you to a links page. Now you got to follow other links when you could just take a business card, put it in your pocket, and deal with it later so that you can be present.
Yeah. So the business card definitely has a place in my business card. The Mercy Corps business cards they're really quite nice. And so people like getting them. That's what they look like. They just have an image of something from where we work. So anyways, business cards still play a role. And I would just joke with people, I'm like, this is super Web 2, but here's my business card. So anyway, but let's get into.
Are you saying you're Web 2?
Oh, we're all Web 2. Anyone who says they're Web 3 is just lying.
Yeah. What's funny about that is, I was talking to somebody, it might have even been Jackie. We were talking about, I was writing an intro to a book, and I was kind of talking about future shock. We've talked about briefly at some point in our relationship. Future shock is when there's a culture that's living in the future and focused on innovation and tomorrow, and there's a culture that's just getting by today. And when those cultures collide, there's jargon issues, and it's cultural shock, but it's like future shock. And I was writing today, when we talk about the future, we're not talking about some far-flung thing with jetpacks. We're literally talking about the meta layer of society today that's dealing with tech when we talk about the future.
Why can't I have a jetpack in the future?
There's
one of my favorite bands is called We Were Promised Jetpacks. And it's great music, but yeah.
Well, I feel like I was really feeling like I wanted a jetpack, right? Yeah. Right when you said that, I'm like, I want a jetpack right now.
So yeah, man. I mean, Jarrett, you were going to transition, but did we have any questions about consensus? Those are great takeaways, and I really appreciate you going there. We're looking at permissionless. We got to get our tickets booked. We got to get our rooms booked. You mentioned you might not go to BTC Miami.
Well, energetically, I don't want to. I'm so tired. I have I was working out a lot through February, March into April, and I've just totally stopped. And my body needs it. And I just need some kind of a quasi routine. And the reality of it is hotel gyms just don't get it done. And doing, so there's like that. And then I'm just tired. I'm just like super tired. And it's really draining to go through an expo space for 10 to 12 hours for 3 days straight and just kind of chum it up. And I'm obviously representing an organization that's much bigger than myself. And I do feel like I need to show up and show out because I have to, I don't have to, but I kind of need to bring some ROI. The organization's paying for me to be there, and that's a blessing. So, but what I wanted to say about Consensus is I think it's a phenomenal event. I think they did a really good job. And, I ended up winning a pro pass to go, which was $2,200. And I shared this on the Twitter space last night. $2,200 is no small amount of change. That's a crap ton of money. And when they're at the door, if you waited till last minute, you just wanted to walk in, it was like 2,600 or something like that. So my point is right now you can go on to consensus.coindesk.com and you can get an early bird pass for next year's 2024 for like $450. So if you are serious about going again, everyone should be doing that.
Oh, geez. You're making me think that I should probably get one.
You should probably get one. If you're listening to this and you're like, how do I save money? You should totally get one. What did George Pay say? Jared had an amazing side event with Katie. Yes, I did. Thank you, George. It went very, very well. And I had another thing I wanted to say on Consensus before maybe you guys ask some questions about it. There's one more thing I wanted to say about Consensus. Oh yeah, you said, Austin, you're like, are you admitting to be Web 2? 100%. And this is the comment that I made last night on the Twitter space, is that when I bought this cold storage, and I wanted to show you guys, this is from Arculus. There it is, from Arculus. And this is a really cool cold storage solution that I've been looking at for a long time. And I just wanted to honestly, I wanted to feel it before I bought it. It's kind of weird. I was like, it's a metal card. Because 90% of the sales in the tactile. But I went and I talked to them and I ended up buying it like right before on the Friday before it was over. And they didn't even ask me if I wanted to pay with Ethereum or Bitcoin or crypto. They were just like, scan your card or use your Apple Pay. So like, it's funny you have this crypto thing of people that think that crypto is going to be, quote, the future. And Grant, I love how we just talking about time and the future, whether it's linear or whether it's now and we're dealing with it. Yet when most people were buying things or hardware or stuff that you could buy there, it was all in fiat. So it's like, even within the crypto space, we still see the value of fiat.
Yeah, it's interesting. So like in my show that we recorded yesterday, but I just put up this morning, an hour late. I feel guilty, but we all of the announcements from MasterCard, Visa, PayPal, Robinhood, we're all talking about on-ramps and off-ramps. And
interesting, potentially
mainly around stable coins and fiat, not so much about off-ramping crypto. And that's kind of interesting because that seems to not be the focus. It seems to be, how do we get money into crypto, not necessarily how do we pay for things with crypto.
Exactly.
Which is weird because, it's proof that there's not full trust in these things as token. It's proof that there's not, it's inconvenient. I heard it said if something takes you an additional 60 seconds, chances are you won't do it. You'll take the alternative option. And that's true. If it takes you an extra 60 seconds to kick on your shoes in the morning, you won't go to the gym if you have to walk across the room. But if you put those shoes right by your bed, chances are you put your feet in your shoes, and now you're ready to work out. And so I think that is a critical observation. I didn't even notice that at NFT NYC. And you would have thought they were selling merch, they were selling things, and not a single person asked, hey, how do you want to pay with that? Bitcoin, Ethereum? You want to pay with that crypto or fiat?
Yeah.
That doesn't roll off the tongue.
Yeah, I would just assume it would be, I loaded up my MetaMask before NFT NYC, just assuming that there was going to be something where I could buy like someone's art in real time for 0.1 ETH or something like that,
Yeah.
So I was always just kind of surprised. And I want to thank George. He's calling me out here and he's totally right. I have to shout out VeChain. George is a holder of VeChain and I'm also a holder of VeChain. So, and I tweeted about this, but I do see myself more as a soulful maxi at this point, but that doesn't always mean that that's where I'm putting my money, which is very counterintuitive and contradictory and
doesn't
hypocritical.
Put his money where his mouth is, apparently.
He doesn't put his money
Bitcoin, and he's not buying Bitcoin, guys.
I'm
Jared
exclusively
just admitted it on air.
Well, I'm exclusively actually only buying Bitcoin right now, but I have a lot of bag of VeChain because I was buying it in 2017 and I've continued to pick it up. And or I'm not currently picking it up. Neither here nor there. When I saw the VeChain booth, I was with George, so we went over and I was like, "Hey, VeChain, this is so cool. I love VeChain. I've had VeChain since 2017, which is now 6+ years, which is fairly OG in crypto terms." And one of my friends will still always be my mentor, will not mention his name because he doesn't like that I like talk about him when it comes to crypto, but he used to work at VeChain. And so when I mentioned his name at the booth, they're like, "Oh yeah, we used to work with him. That's super cool." So, there was like that immediate. And George, who I didn't know, also has VeChain, even though George is a Bitcoin miner out of Texas, very much a maxi in many ways. But I think George and I are kind of on the thing. We're not like, I see the value in every other project. There are projects out there that are doing amazing things. So we went up and we talked to them and they gave us each a tee. They gave us each some swag. And VeChain is now one of the sponsors of UFC. And they put us on a list to invite us to go to a match in New York, to go to a bout, or to go to a card, I guess you should say. Saturday in New York City. So I don't think I can go because I have a lot of work to get done this weekend. But I think I'm going to reach out, and George, you're listening to this the first time because we haven't talked about this, but I'm going to reach out and see if we can go to a future card. We'll line up in a better place. If there's one in Austin or Dallas, then George and I could go and I could just meet up with George there. But that would be cool. That they were like, "Oh, you're VeChain holders." And, he knows a guy who used to work with us for 3.5 years. Here, we're going to reward you by inviting you to the UFC. And the woman who was the rep, she's like, "Yeah, when we go to fights, we always try to invite VeChain members and get them tickets because they're sponsors. So they have probably like good seats and, they probably get 10 to 20 tickets about." So that was
interesting. That's interesting.
Cool.
VeChain, and how up is VeChain over its price in 2017?
It is. I got into VeChain when it was under a cent, and now it's at like 2.4 cents, but it went all the way up to 24.3 cents. So it's down 90% from where it was in 2021, 2022. And it's still one of the bigger, I think it's one of the biggest chains that has actually been building and doing real world stuff for a long time. Not like promising to do stuff. They've been doing a lot of supply chain, but it seems like they're trying to get away from that. I think they're trying to get into NFTs and other types of like Web3 ecosystem work. But yeah, VeChain's a really cool project.
And do you happen to know like their value proposition relative to any other layer one?
I do not know.
Okay, just curious. Yeah, I mean,
I know that they were doing environmental work at one point. They were involved in tracking with environmental work. That was like
exactly. So any supply chain stuff, I think they've done carbon offsets and they've done other like reforestation initiatives. I think they've been in the back of that because it is so cheap to work with it. And the way that they have their so they have VeChain and VeThor, and that's like part of their ecosystem, and that's really fun. So when I hold VeChain it's basically staked because I get paid in VeThor. And I can't really explain the ecosystem more than that, but I can totally get ready for the next call to talk about a little bit more about VeChain if I study.
George paid us talk about VeChain. There's such a thing as VeChain. Topic covered. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I'm just always curious about these projects because these days, like, I just picked up, you got to see this, and a shout out to Twitter user Amanda Cassatt, who I believe this is Web3 marketing for those, and that's a Squiggle. If you guys know the Squiggle NFT line, and they got up to several ETH per Squiggle back in the day. She is the CEO of Serotonin, but she actually led the Consensus protocol as their CMO for years. Not Consensus the event, but the Consensus protocol. And this book even came with, this was a little disappointing, a little bit of a rug pull. It came with a QR code for an NFT. And that's kind of cool. You scratch it off, but the rug pull was, it was a limited NFT group and someone already claimed the NFT. And I was like, daggum, so it was a little bit of a rug pull. But I'm reading this because the call out that I'm having in every discussion is there's a consolidation of projects. The projects are deciding what they're going to do. Like you said, some of them are just going, forget it. The architecture of cross-chain is we're so far off. Let's just build our own ecosystem so we can get a use case up and running in our world. And that makes sense because it's like we just got to get users. We got to get users. We got to get income flowing. We got to get an income model. And I'm not going to wait for all the cross-chain promises of Polkadot and you pick a program. And so, now I'm listening to the conversation of how chains or projects talk about themselves when they start to move into the marketing and messaging phase to average users, that they're not selling each other. That's what I'm curious about. How are we selling the average person on what do you got, Aussie?
Well, interoperability is already happening. There was a huge move by AVAX, an announcement at Consensus about how they're making USDC in a partnership with Circle interoperable and bridgeable between a whole slew of ecosystems, including Stellar, Tron, Solana, Ethereum, and AVAX, amongst others, where instead of having to use a bridge where there's a chance of hacks, bridges have been some of the biggest sources of hacks in crypto lately, it basically burns the USDC on one chain and mints it on whatever chain you want to bring it to. And so we're already having that interoperability start to happen.
That is interesting, Aussie, because I know that like other chains, and this is something where I just need to understand a little bit more about like the technicals, but I do know that USDC is being sent on Stellar and they have a partnership because Mercy Corps is trying to see how we can leverage those two to come together and be able to send, dollars essentially around the world in a more efficient way than going through the current TradFi system, which we all know if you tried to move money across borders, it is, oh my God, it is painful. So I think that's something we should actually look for at a future episode and do some more homework and really like present that, because the way that USDC can like basically ride on other chains, I think is super cool. And it's
Wonderland is paying out in USDC, and it's like USDC.E, and it's it's all over the place. I really dig it's Circle, right? Circle owns USDC. I've really been impressed with that. But like we're talking about, we're on this because of your review of Consensus and why aren't they asking about crypto? The truth is, as fast as crypto is, it's still not as fast as me swiping a credit card. It just isn't. And we know that there's a bunch of banking stuff going on in the background of true reconciliation, but it hits our accounts right away. One of the projects that I thought was the coolest, I was with Aussie, and I forget the name of it. They had the rings that were, and George mentions this in his comment, so I want to make sure we throw love to George here, the mix of the physical and digital. It was these rings that had like Anubis Egyptian rings, and then when you took the camera on it, it created this whole digital augmented reality, just a cool sleeve. And I thought, well, that's kind of cool. You're starting to see more and more of this, and I wanted to pay them. And they gave us a price. And actually, to be fair to these people, they did quote the price in ETH, and I could pay them, but it was inconvenient while I had my credit card right there. So I had to go move money to my MetaMask, never got around to it, and ultimately they lost the sale because it technically is clunkier. It's clunkier. And we're taught so much, don't keep your money in your warm storage, keep it in your cold storage. Well, that itself makes it illiquid.
Yeah, it makes it so much harder.
So we got to fix that,
And that's why I want this. So Arculus is essentially just a metal card that you tap to your phone after you use, so it has 3FA, you use facial recognition, you have a code, and then you have to have this tapped to your phone to be able to get into that digital wallet. That's the only way. Cool. And I'm excited to travel with this as opposed to traveling with my ledger. So I'll leave my ledger somewhere safe, and that's where I'll put a bulk of my cold storage.
Yeah.
Because I've been in Colombia and I wanted to mint something, and this is about 2 months ago, but my ledger is left in the United States. So I was like, crap, I guess I can't do it because I didn't have that money. And in the moment, I was explaining this to somebody else. I'm like, if there's something I want to, like, if Bored Ape Yacht Club falls to 2 ETH and I'm like, oh my gosh, how could I not get this, right? If I took that amount of fiat that I have in cash, say, and I bought it on Binance, what Binance is going to tell me? You have to wait 7 days before I can take that ETH off and put it to a wallet. So I can't take advantage of anything. That's why I want this, so I can have a cold storage solution, carry it with me. And I don't have to worry about a battery. I don't have to worry about it getting wet. I don't have to worry about
brilliant.
it getting destroyed because it's just a metal card. So I'm gonna try that out on my own, and then that may be a solution that I offer to other people as they talk about, hey, if I am a digital nomad or I am moving around or I am traveling, how can I make this happen? Well, it's like one, and in theory, I think I'm going to have a couple cold storages in the future and just spread them out so you don't have literally all your eggs in one basket. But this Arculus is going to be my solution for my more mobile lifestyle.
Yeah, I like that. Brian Naughton says next gen cold storage is much more seamless. We have got to disseminate this immediately. I'm talking to what I would consider the illuminaries and intellectuals in our space. I know that like we all wish we were devs, we all wish we were builders, we all wish we were traders, we all wish we were flippers, we all wish we were building the next SaaS of crypto.
Grant, you are a flipper. We're going to get to that. Don't
Yes.
you worry.
Yes, I feel like we need to talk about the Grant you see on screen
is different.
It's not the real Grant.
This ain't the guy. This
is my avatar. This is Grant Sparks. Grant Rhinate is a total G-gen. But no, I'm talking to these people more and more, and the conversation we're having is we need to quit pretending we're going to build the Web3 version of this. Is like Silicon Valley 2.0, where they're like, we're going to build the SaaS of parking cars. We're going to build the SaaS of garbage hauling. And we're like, we're going to build the Web3 of this and the tokenized version of that. And really, we can't even make a transaction normal. And this is the future of money. So I would love to see Arculus. Maybe on a future episode, maybe we'll all get a card, an Arculus card, and try it out there. Because 3FA sounds interesting, and if I had the confidence of cold storage but the liquidity of cash or Visa card, then I'm down. That's cool.
And that's exactly what I think. And what I'll do is I'm literally going to send this clip of you saying that to Arculus. I hope to be in touch with them and whatever.
Sponsored by.
Yeah.
Arculus, if you're watching on Twitter, @you. And send us cards. We're going to get it squared away and taken care of.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do it. I've never done that on YouTube, one of the openings, but I'm going to try to do the opening, get my tripod with the phone facing down, have the ASMR voice going.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I think it's time now, though. We talk about Pepe, a place that Grant will feel a lot more at home with than all this philosophical stuff. So, Grant, you are now the new CDO. And, it was CDOs that took out the global financial system in 2008. So
get out of here.
You are our CDO, which is Chief Degen Officer. From here on out, you shall be known. You know how they dubbed Elton John Sir Elton John? You are now Sir CDO. In fact, you may want to change your Twitter. You may want to have a burner Twitter handle called Sir CDO.
Yeah.
Honestly, if he doesn't go get it before the end of this show, I might just go get it and send him the login info for
Send him the handle.
My girl, Natalie.
There she is. NLC.
NLC here. As soon as we bring up,
as soon as you bring up the poopy coins,
Pepe, she jumps in. She's like, I got a nose for it, son.
She's like, something more sketchy than Doge? I'm in.
That's so funny. She's looking for those leverage plays. What do you want to know about Pepe, boys?
We want to know everything you know. And keep in mind, we only have 27 minutes left.
Okay. I won't go long. I mean, I was in and out. I've been telling people, and I need to correct myself, and NLC, you too. I've been saying I made 50% on Pepe. That's not true. I made 50% on Gensler. And she's in. I know she's in. She's so in. So I made 50% on Gensler, and I'm like, I don't care. And then I made some coin on Pepe, and I was like, I don't care. And then I saw this morning, boys. Natalie, you've seen this, NLC. This is the T. Like Wall Street Bets token.
This is the T. Listen to this. Listen to the CDO go.
Bro, let me tell you something. What I watched for is something that was launched between 10 p.m. and midnight the previous night.
Oh my God.
This is the guy who tells us, Aussie, that he goes to bed at 8 p.m., but he sets his alarm to get up at 1 a.m.
No.
Yeah, just to go see which tokens have just been launched.
No.
Yeah, 100%.
No, I get up at 3:30, so
doing.
I'm naturally up before all you guys, before gas prices get stupid. I mean, gas prices are stupid. I bought my Wall Street Bets up. I'm up 70% right now.
Wait, you bought Wall Street Bets? I actually want to know how to buy that. I think that will moon.
I'm up 65% as of this moment, and my Pepe is up. I bought back into Pepe, by the way, on a dip. And so I'm now sitting on however many Pepes and however many Wall Street bets. I tried to buy the Jesus token, but the network failed. And so here's the caution to people though. So if you have a whale wallet, they are, because it's degen tokens, if you have a whale wallet, they are blacklisting exits. Because
really?
I mean, they're smart enough to set up the tokens. It's like, hey man, I put in 5,000 and it's now worth $1 million. These degen plays have been happening for the last 3 weeks. If you're not careful, or if you do it wrong, they can blacklist you on an exit. Because they're not. I mean, all of it's not regulated. We know that, but like everyone knows these are shit coins and meme coins. So my advice to anyone is, if you have profits, take it. But I think people. Go ahead. What do you got, Aussie?
Okay. Other thing is to move it around. If you've got too much of it sitting in one wallet, let's say you're the Dogecoin millionaire or you're a Pepe millionaire.
Yeah.
Move it into multiple wallets and
distribute
then sell
the wallets. Yes.
So that if they blacklist your one wallet, you can move it around and sell it.
Also, not financial advice for anyone listening to this.
None.
Zero.
None. And NLC calls out something that I did see. This is the first internal drama I've seen on a shitcoin. And she says, yes, there was drama with WSB. There was a different one launched yesterday before the legit one. The first WSB rugged, and then the second one mooned. So good play. And this is literally what happened. And I saw this. I think it was on our NLC. Correct me if I'm wrong. This was on a Reddit board, the Wall Street Bets Reddit board. Like this is there. I think this is coming up from the OG, the official Wall Street Bets Reddit. And that's what got me to jump in. Like, wait, whether there's drama or not, there's a race to get their token launched because they're doing another AMC like degen attack like on Robinhood. And so I thought, well, whether or not this is legit, but the internal drama did cause me pause, which is why I think I'm only up 60% and it launched later last night. So there is some drama here. So the real question is this, and this is the question you guys were posing to me. How can I, the most conservative, diversified portfolio person who is real estate heavy compared to the three of us, and what am I doing with this? This is less than 1% of my personal wealth, right? So like I'm big on stability as a base so that I can do degen shit with a very small percentage of my holdings. Why are you laughing, bro? Why are you laughing?
So you're rich daddy is what you're saying.
What?
So you're rich dad.
No, I'm stable daddy.
No, he's degen dad.
Oh, I like that even better.
There should be Web 2 Dad and Degen Dad. That's the new book where Grant just talks about how you move your Pepe around to different wallets.
Degen Dad Bod, like I need to do like a coffee table book, Degen Dad Bod, and just be like, you'd be surprised how many.
In fact, too many ideas. We're gonna create an even bigger Degen.
Which is
that's the only. I'm gonna start the next coin, the Degen Dad Bod coin, DDB.
The Degen Dad Bod coin.
Tristan says merch line incoming.
Yeah, merch line incoming.
Honestly, we've been talking about a merch line. We have. With all of the crazy stuff.
Stable Dad has a gambling issue.
George, you're probably right. You're probably right.
George right now is the winning the day with that comment. So I want to just share this. This is from a buddy of mine who's also a degen, but no one knows. Right? Like at his work, no one knows he's a degen. He said he's taken, this is how ridiculous Pepe is. And I said this last night on the Twitter space. Everyone's hearing it again for the second time. But he said, Pepe's so ridiculous that he's taken 5x profits twice and now an 8x profit once. That's how ridiculous it is. So it just keeps going. I mean, he missed out on the 100x because he took out both of those, but he's bought back in 2 times and still gone up 5x twice and 8x once.
Wow.
That is something that it's either going to continue to go up and in a month it will like find some stability or in a month it's going to wipe out people.
Well, and here's George. Every degen coin wipes out somebody. Okay. Like every degen shit coin wipes out somebody. But here's the thing. Pepe coin is talking about being listed on KuCoin. They're about to jump the shark here.
Jump the shark.
That's a throwback from the early 2010s. You're welcome.
The amount of like acronyms and ridiculousness that's coming out of Grant's mouth right now.
Let me tell you, spill the tea. Let me tell you, spill the tea.
Oh my God.
I want to know what Tristan, is this crap coin or corp coin? Like corporate coin or crap coin? Like it's all junk. I'd like to know that, Tristan. And then Tristan says, a gambling habit from home because stable dad always rolling the dice. Let me tell you something. It took us a long time to build the real estate we have, the small business income we have.
All for you to put it into Pepe?
Yeah, literally, all in on Pepe.
There is a specific like shitcoin account that I have that I pull from specifically for this.
It's called your CDO.
So George says Pepe feels different. Organic community, exploding market cap. And this is interesting. A lot of people have posted this meme. I'm sure you boys saw it, where someone posted flooring out of, yes, this is true. People are flooring out of like top tier NFTs. People are selling their Bored Apes and their NLC's Nakamigos just to get into Pepe. It's no joke. But people are putting up these charts where they're showing the market cap in the 300 millions versus the liquidity in the 5 millions. And they're questioning this. And the pushback is, go check Ethereum, bro. Ethereum's market cap ratio to its liquidity is negligible. Mm-hmm. NLC, the lovely NLC says, the moment it gets listed on Robinhood, it will moon. And I think there's already conversation. I think not LimeWire. Somebody posted a swap posted and said, hey, question for the audience, are we listing Pepe or no? I think it was LimeWire, one of these. The easier it becomes to buy, the more people will onboard into Pepe. And that second wave. So as soon as it's on like when it's on Uniswap, this is what I consider first wave shitcoin like buys. And even your buddy who's gone in and out at 5x multiple times and 8x once, these are still early, right? Once it gets listed on an exchange, on a DEX, for real, like right now it's not even a DEX.
On a SEX.
On a SEX, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Once it gets
on
listed,
Coinbase.
Yeah, once it gets listed on a SEX, thank you, a centralized exchange for those who need to know what we're talking about. Then there's the second wave of like retail buyers, and that's when it gets doopid. DOOPID. That's when it gets doopid.
So I want to just transition a little bit because
to Wonderland.
Oh God. That's just.
Oh God. I don't know how, like, DGen Grant is terrifying me.
DGen Grant is so dangerous.
Wait till we start talking about cults.
Yeah, Grant, you are a one-man cult
at this point.
You are a cult. You're a one-man cult.
I'm a one-man cult. I'm not doing too good then. Like,
you're a one-man cult. You get up in the morning every day. You drink your Kool-Aid.
Dude, NLC, forget these guys. You're gonna join my cult, so I'm not a one-man cult. Screw these guys.
No, but she'll probably do your social media.
Yeah.
So I sent you guys a tweet in our WhatsApp, but it's something I put up the other day, and it got a good amount of traction because I think everyone's asking some of these questions.
Yeah.
So I went on to OpenSea, and if you're interested, go to my Twitter and go through my media, and you can find this image. I don't know, I'll move it up to the top of my Twitter, I guess. But I put all of these. I got one subscriber. Hell yeah, Jonestown coins.
Tristan, me and Tristan. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
It's so bad that, okay. God, if you're watching the show, don't believe anything we say. So I took these screenshots.
Don't believe anything Grant says.
Yeah,
you can believe what we say.
Not
Grant.
not the CDO.
Yeah.
So I put these screenshots together, and if you look at these, Kool-Aid coin. If you look at these are ridiculously low. Grant, can you actually drop this into the?
I'll pull it up a screenshot right now.
Oh, that'd be great because these are ridiculously low, and I was looking at like some of their all-time highs. I mean, this is stupid. So here it is on Twitter. Make sure you follow at Not Crypto Bros on Twitter. But like Journey Club is at 0.31 ETH. And I think it mooned around 5.5 ETH in like 2022, March, February. I got in December.
Yeah.
And I got in at 2 ETH. And then
World of Women. What?
World of Women is down to 0.85. And I think it's even lower today. I think it hit 0.79.
Wow.
Checks went all the way up to around 2.53.
Yeah.
Mutant Apes, I think, went up to like 65.
Yeah.
And Doodles also cracked 40.
Yes.
So if you believe that any of these projects are going to go back to maybe where they were, take into account two things. One, if you believe that they go back to where they were, that's the first question you have to ask yourself. The next question you have to ask yourself is, what will the ETH be worried? So, like, what will the ETH be worth when it goes back up there? Because I think
it's
ETH
like
is
a
gonna
double
crack,
compound. Yeah,
exactly. I think ETH is going to crack probably 10K in the next bull run. So if you just even look at Journey Club, it's at 0.31. You could get in right now for $700 or $800. And if it goes back to where it was at 5 and ETH is worth 10,000, you're going to put $800 in and get $50,000.
You're on a 3 to 5 year journey for that, though.
I mean, I'm talking 2025 summer.
Okay. Oh, that's not that far off.
That's not that far.
But most people are struggling to put the money together for the Doodle or the Mutant Ape. Go ahead, Austin.
Oh, the other thing is like a lot of like Journey Club maybe because that is like an exclusive community membership thing. As long as Junior, JR, like Journey, Crypto keeps his YouTube channel going and stuff like that.
Yes,
sure, that might maintain value. But we look at Mutant Ape Yacht Club, Yuga Labs, just like George is saying, Yuga Labs is in trouble. There's no real inherent trouble with like value in a Mutant Ape Yacht Club. It's a PFP project with some copyright, and they're trying to branch into other stuff, but it's not.
I challenge just a little bit with Hello, I'm Morgan attended the new talk at Consensus by the new leader of Yuga who took over the gentleman. And she even said to the effect, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe I'm even mistaking who it was, but I'm suddenly bullish on Yuga when I heard the vision of the incoming person about their focus on gaming. Like we've seen it already with the Dookie Dash, but I think Mutant Apes is just going to get rolled in. The IP is going to get rolled into gaming, as is Outer Deeds. I think there's potential. I mean, I think there's potential. 10 ETH is still expensive for the average Joe and Jane, but
you're talking 20K right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but
you're talking 20K, but with a potential for it was 60 to 65, and I do think that the Mutant Ape Yacht Club, from what I understand, you also do get access to Bored Ape Yacht Club. Like, you're part of the Yacht Club ecosystem, and you're part of the Yuga. So you do get into Discords. It's basically like
alpha. You're getting alpha.
You're getting alpha. It's basically like Bored Ape Yacht Club 2.0. Some people will just like expand their collection, but they like did something different. Out of all of these are the ones I put up because they were just kind of like the low-hanging fruit, and they're the ones that I check out on OpenSea. And I was also really trying to highlight ones that I felt were really far away from their all-time highs. I mean, if Journey Club is at 5.2 or something like that, or 5.5, it's down more than 95% almost. 90, it's right around, and that's 1 out of 20. So it's like, I think I'm going to pick up another Journey Club. I've been with Journey since month after their mint because of Brendan, who came on the podcast, who talked to me about it. And I'm thinking I'm definitely going to pick up a Journey, and I don't know about checks. I love checks, and I saw Jack Butcher, and I was able to meet him. He just has a lot, the way that checks works and how they burn into one another. I'm not sure what that's like. I want to continue to watch that, but I think I'm going to get one of Jack Butcher's Opepins. Those are around the same price, and I just think the art in itself is quite beautiful. Oh, I love this. This is meta. We're watching ourselves.
Oh, sorry.
Oh God, this is terrifying.
So anyways, the bottom line is, if you're into high risk, high reward situations, there are plenty, whether we're talking about Gensler Corn, we're talking about Pepe, we're talking about other things. They are very high risk, I feel, but they're very high reward at the same time. And then with these NFTs long-term, like if Doodles can figure it out and weather the storm.
Have you seen their latest launch?
Yeah, you were just talking about this.
So I am of what you listed, I am most bullish about World of Women and Doodles.
Sure.
And mainly for my first flag right now for a project is, how is their community? I know that this has been lip service for a long time, and I'm not talking Frank D. Codd's let's do a shoey. I mean, props to them. They are doing it, and I'm not going to knock them. But the bro frat culture is just not where I'm headed, and I don't think it's where the industry wants to go. But what they are doing is community, regardless of the type of community, regardless that it's frat culture, like they still are doing community. And anyone doing community to me is going to win. NLC says Goblin Town was at 9 ETH and now down to 0.3. They're coming out with a new free mint. They're allowing the new mint with Pepe. Interesting. So you're paying for the mint fees with Pepe, as I believe what she's saying.
Okay.
Which is badass. So like the drop down, when we say like Bitcoin, ETH, or whatever, and then Pepe, that's pretty wild. So anyone doing community that isn't just like rah-rah, but like I dove deeper into Hug's community. They have a phenomenal financial model, which was nuts. We could talk about that in another day. But like I'm rereading Tribes by Seth Godin. Phenomenal book written in 2007, 2008. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would love to read that. That's been on my list for literally 5 years.
I sent a copy to my entire team. Mentioned this to Jackie Roach when we talked the other day, and she said she's been sitting on herself. She's staring at it because I think Community 2.0, Web3 Community 2.0 is coming out. I think that we're starting to recognize like these projects just building their own ecosystems. They're just owning the fact we have to at some point admit that we talk about platform building. People don't just want to be spoken at. They want to be a part of the community. I think most of our NCB community is in the comments because we bring those comments up and we met them IRL and we've done calls offline with each of, I think each of them in some way, shape, or form. We have a relationship. It's the interactivity. Tribes nailed this in 2008. And now, knowing what we now know about Web3, I think he was a futurist. I think he was seeing the future. It's borderline prophetic for the project that I think will be successful. So I look at Doodles. And bro, they caught a lot of flack, guys, for saying we're not an NFT project anymore. And everyone took issue with that. What do you mean you're losing your base? And their argument was like, no, we're saying this to protect our base. Because the reputation of an NFT project is now trash. We're an IP project. We're a community project. So they launched their Studio, STOODIO. Stick your doodle in. And every NFT, imagine taking any NFT you have and not having to burn it, but just upgrading it. Adding a hat or a bucket hat or pants, or if it's a journey pass, being able to trick out the journey pass and add bling, doesn't burn it, you can just upgrade it all the time. They're doing this with these humanoid characters, which are road tracking to a variety of IP, a show with the Rick and Morty developers, cartoons, their own cartoons, gaming, and you customize it. And if it's cool enough and they pick it, good creativity on you. Here's kickbacks to you, what NFTs were meant to be, and we're producing with these characters. And now they're becoming customizable cross-chain avatars because it's on the flow chain. And the flow chain is really built for cross-chain, cross-compatibility, and you're able to just upgrade it, and they're building community. I see that, and I know that World of Women has a strong community as well. And I see those, and those to me are deep discounts. You are still talking 6K for a doodle, but I think it's worth it right now.
So the World of Women had a really cool meetup, and it was very well attended. Maybe one of the better attended side events that I kind of went to. So it was outside the conference center. It was just at like this cafe next door, but it was packed. And so World of Women, especially because it's women led, it also has women in the name. I think that that's really important. And I do think that there are a lot of women in Web3 who are creatives, who are leaders, who are founders, and who also have some liquidity to be able to invest. So I'm interested to see what they continue to do. I know that they're fairly philanthropic. We've worked with them at Mercy Corps, which is great. And you almost just talked me into buying a doodle. So this is exciting also, because if they actually are going to have a show, not saying they're going to show, if that, like, by the time that show happens, we can go back and look at this, and the floor is going to be easily 10, easily. And I don't know where ETH will be at that point, but it's like,
so that how imminent this is.
I would love to know.
This is the Doodle homepage, and it's changed to add it the first, like in website, whatever's in the English speaking world, whatever's on the left is their top priority visually. They have added an entertainment drop down, and here's the trailer for Doodles 2. Now they've had these experiences, but like their animation is nuts. I won't go into this actually because it'll delay. Yeah, it's going to delay here pretty significantly. But this is the intro to their Doodles 2 line, which is basically the studio, but also this will become the basis. They're basically workshopping this as the basis of their show.
Wow.
So I can go back and not. I mean, they're animating it, and Pharrell is. We've talked about that. Pharrell. Oh, let me close this mess. So they're expanding, and they've even got they're building out this thing called the Spaceport Space Doodles. You can take your doodle, stick it into like a duplicator, and it creates like these space versions of your character. They're literally building out the IP for this cartoon that will happen in space. I mean, it's they're doing the dang thing, you know?
Yeah, okay, you're convincing me. I may need to get off the bench sooner than later and pick one up because I think of all those projects. The Yuga Labs is interesting, but like we talked about and Austin called out, which is very obvious, like that's 20K. It's actually 10.7, so it's getting closer to 22K.
Yeah.
The Checks is still low-hanging fruit. The OPEPin that Jack Butcher just dropped is also pretty low. World of Women's 0.85. Obviously, Doodles is 3 right now, but I think if Doodles gets down to 2.5, or I don't know, maybe even if it's around 3, but ETH continues to drop, I may consider putting some stuff together to try to get that.
Dude, look at this.
I mean,
this
Journey
is their
Club might be my reach. Might be my reach. Like, yeah, that's fair.
I mean, hop in. Journey Club. They were one of the only, not one of the only, I shouldn't say. They were one of the few that were actually at NFT NYC. So that to me was super cool.
I remember that photo you took.
Yeah, and I met some people and just talked to them. And honestly, like we had some real conversations because I did a challenge that they had, and then they were going to send me some ETH. But they just couldn't send me the ETH. They wanted my social security number. And because they were going to send out a lot of ETH to people. And so they needed to basically, back it for tax purposes, which I thought was pretty mature of them. So, I talked with one of the higher ups there, and he's like, yeah, man, like all of this is business. Like, people don't see that when they're in the Discord, but like, we're constantly trying to figure out how to survive the bear market, how to continue to add value and have, how do you have less money and add more value, right? And so hearing that and meeting those guys was like, okay, they're building for the future. They've already had multiple drops. I mean, I've gotten dropped about 0.65 at this point. It was worth over 2 ETH at one point, NFTs from their collections. So they've given free mints. So I've gotten almost the money that I put in the original mint back had I had minted at the time when these things were hot. I'm just holding them because if Journey continues to work, these side projects that were, that they airdropped, they're going to be worth a lot too. If not maybe more than the past, because a lot of them, the artwork is different. The past was always super basic and it still looks basic. There's not the art there. So
interesting. Yeah, we should pick some of these up. That would be huge. I'm interested in these groups like Journey in the same way that I was interested in the folks that own Moonbirds. Who the heck is that?
You'd have to look them up. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not my wheelhouse. NFTs are really not my wheelhouse. I'll be honest.
Well, the founder of Reddit, he was the guy that founded the Moonbirds project and the parent project with that, and it was like a passport. And just as like a founders group of, hey, we're trying to invest in things. This is how we're using the treasury. We're going to start investing in stuff together, and let's go. And it's as simple as that. And with NFTs, it's the same thing as being an investment group.
Is that
the difference is with
Proof.xyz?
the Proof Collective.
Yeah.
And it's like, now they're getting a lot of heat right now because it sounds like they haven't, they've made promises and haven't cashed in on the promises. And that's the big thing. Can I set low X? Can I under promise and over deliver? And people are thinking, well, it's NFTs, it's Web3, it's crypto. You just promise the moon and win Lambo. And it's like, we're going back to Web2 a little bit, and we're saying, let's maybe under promise and over deliver. What do you got, Aussie?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like a lot of like the meme coins, a lot of it is like people are talking like when Robinhood, and I like maybe Robinhood is on the horizon, but really, like
yeah,
you're stretching the imagination because it takes a lot of liquidity to
Yes.
list on Robinhood or on KuCoin, and it's not Robinhood or KuCoin or Binance that provides that liquidity. You got to provide it yourself. So
certainly. Yeah. So it's like, how organized are you? So it will be a sign if there's real rumors about it. It might be a sign that they're organizing. I mean, Pepe's team, their meme team alone, so was Gensler. Their meme team alone knew what they were doing. This isn't just some shit poster. I mean, it was people who really had an organized meme effort. And that's impressive. Like, it shows some organization. But yes, if you can, make the leap to a SEX, a centralized exchange, then you got your act together, and that it should rightly moon a little bit.
Yeah, every time something hits Coinbase, it goes up 30% in the first 48 hours.
Yeah.
Just because people now have access to it with different on-ramps. So, we're going to continue to see this. I'm excited to continue to see what Pepe does. I don't think I'll ever buy any. I've got my hands in other things. So,
yeah. And that's the other thing, for you guys giving me the DGen title, I still dollar cost average my blue chips. I still stack my sats. I still buy my layer twos, so my portfolio is still actually, even with these DGen plays, my portfolio still largely looks the same as it has when I was posting my portfolio on Patreon. It's actually 40% blue chips, another 30% layer twos, Avalanche, Polygon, those sorts of plays, Chainlink. And then only 20% alts, and I won't even say shitcoins, aren't even listed in there. It's just alts. I see a ISO 20022 coins, those sorts of things. And with less than 1% am I messing with this. And if I did have financial advice, it's do that. Don't roll dice on, pizza money or car loan money, Aussie, or loan money.
Oh.
Yeah, man.
He's shouting out an episode that Jared and I might drop together, or I've been talking about doing, and
we should.
Yeah, we're a little past time, but Grant, I think that's. I mean, honestly, everyone gets to do whatever they want with their money, and I know that you do have a very nice DCA program going there, so that's a brilliant thing, and these things are so high risk and high yield. Where it's just put in $20, put in $10, put in 15, put in 30 when you see it starting. Because, if my friend had put in 30 and it went up 100, well, that's stupid, right?
Yeah.
And it may go up more. It may go up more from that point. So, George says Gala is interesting, has a way more developed ecosystem of IP, film, music, games compared to others, and somehow is a smaller market cap than Pepe. Yeah. I mean, Pepe right now is in the moon phase, and Gala right now is in the bear phase. So just give it time. Gala's not going away at all. Gala Games is a pretty serious project.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And, the idea of shitcoins is this. If you need the money, don't do it. If I had financial advice, if you need that money, don't do it. Because here's the thing. Like you're saying, put $75 in. Okay, let's say you 2x. Good on you. It's $150. That doesn't cover your electricity this month. And so,
covers my electricity this month.
Where do you live, bro? Do you got solar panels?
He lives in communist Canada, apparently. Everything's subsidized.
No, it's not subsidized. I just have cheap. We got cheap hydro that was built in the 70s.
Oh, okay. So you're the exception. That proves the rule. The average person.
So your energy is subsidized. It's assisted by other means. Okay.
Yeah, you're not looking for a 2-month moon. You're looking for which of these actually ends up becoming Doge or SHIB, and holding for years. That $75 can become something serious over that period of time, but only put in what you're willing to ignore for the next 12 to 18 months.
Great advice.
Boy, shout out.
That's actually not true. Not what you're willing to ignore, because you took 50% on Gensler and then Gensler went to 0.
Yeah.
So maybe
I was talking about the advice point. I was like, don't do what DGen Dadbod does. Do what DGen Dadbod says if you want to be safe.
My God. I'll start my shout out. It's to anyone whose ears are burning. So I tweeted this morning and I fully believe it. and it says potential long-term wealth, Bitcoin. Unlikely short-term riches, Pepe. Guess which one is more interesting to people? Because
hands down.
we live in a world where people have really messed up time horizons.
Yes.
And so everyone's trying to figure out how to get rich tomorrow, not get wealthy in 10 years.
Yes.
So for every 10%, every 10 cents you put into Pepe, put 90 cents into Bitcoin and you're fine. You're fine. So that's my shout out, is actual financial advice. 10 cents in for every cent into Pepe, you put 9 cents into Bitcoin. Austin.
Yeah, buddy.
I don't have a good shout out. I never have a great shout out.
Shout out to the hydro you put in 20
Yeah,
years
he's
ago.
got all
shout
week.
out to my
He's got
cheap
all week.
electricity. I pay 9 cents Canadian a kilowatt. So that's
Jesus
ridiculous.
Christ. How are you not mining, dude?
It's still cheaper. Oh, I've debated, but it's you
No, but I'm
teeter
talking
on
like
where-
you should be mining Doge. Just get like a crap laptop and just mine a little Doge on the side.
Yeah. I was looking at that. Yeah.
Your electricity is nothing. I mean, I'm at 22 cents the kilowatt in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I think we're at 14 on good months, but it just depends. And our group is getting more and more solar, but that's not offsetting our expense at all. Shout out to our regular, shout out to George, shout out to our new lovely regular who made the jump from Twitter to LinkedIn to hear about our degen shit on LinkedIn. NLC, shout out to you. I got an affection for you and your world, so I appreciate that. Tristan, of course, George bringing the heat early on, big time. Allison for popping in, Roger Williams for shouting out, saying, hey, I love seeing these regulars. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy. So that's my shout out. I love our regulars, man. I love you guys. What do you got, Jared?
That's it. So follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And if you want to get in touch with us, you can DM us on Twitter or find us on LinkedIn. And we'll see you again on Tuesday at 3:30 Eastern Time.
Next gen dad bod.
Yeah.
DJ.
Hashtag don't listen to Grant ever.
Not ever. Not ever. Just about my
He's
GG.
probably going to try to recruit you to a cult, guys.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's already happening.
Hashtag Kool-Aid
You're already
juice.
in. You're already in. I appreciate you guys having